Well, the Department of Agriculture is now warning that Americans could see the price of eggs spike more than 40%. But the Trump administration is working on a solution, committing more than $1 billion to combat the bird flu and the egg shortage. Here to break it all down for us is our new Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. Brooke, it's so great to have you on. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Rachel.
So I'm looking at this. The cost of eggs is expected to go up 40% this year. I know that you had like a round table with like 24 farmers. And what did you guys gather, and what are you guys going to do at the Department of Agriculture to address the avian flu and the prices of eggs?
You know, Rachel, I think it's first it should be said that watching what happened in the White House yesterday and with the president, you know, America is back and the strength of leadership. But that's really across the board. How are we going to solve all of these massive problems and challenges that were brought to us by the Biden administration? And certainly in my lane, not with Ukraine and not foreign policy, but with domestic policy and certainly with prices that our consumers are facing. That single mom in Detroit, you know, she may know what's going on and she may be glad that we have, you know, peace through strength across the world. But she is much more concerned with how expensive eggs have gotten, right? And how she's going to feed her family. And I know you're a mom of a bunch of kids. I'm a mom of a lot of kids, too, not as many as you. So this is a real deal. Listen, under the Biden administration, egg prices increased 237%. The cost of groceries, the cost of everything went up 25, 30%, but eggs specifically. And there were a lot of reasons for that. One of the drivers is the avian bird flu, which has required almost 160 million birds have been depopulated, which is a real fancy term for basically killed, so that we could try to stop the flu. Most of that happened under the Biden administration. So what do we do to fix it? So we've repurposed funds from USDA to push back on that. Part of that money is going to be used for biosecurity measures, which is locking the barns down. The avian flu is spread through wild birds. So how do we make sure that all these barns can protect against the wild bird flu? The second thing is, how do we quickly repopulate? Under Biden and Obama, a lot of rules and regulations were put on these chicken farmers, and it just takes a lot longer than it should to get hens back into the hen house and laying eggs again. Third, what can we do, again, on that deregulation piece regarding repopulation, but also just regarding egg farming in general and chicken farmers in general? That's a massive piece of this, and we're rolling back a lot of those rules. Fourth is, are there short-term import eggs that we can do? We're already we've announced a deal with Turkey, other countries around the world to get eggs in immediately and onto the shelves. And then fifth, which is longer term, but perhaps the most important, is how do we address the bird flu? It is highly pathogenic. It moves through the air, and it's really, really affecting our farmers. So we've got a pretty big, massive plan we rolled out this week at the White House, and I look forward to implementing that. But listen, there is no short-term fix. Tomorrow, I wish I could, you know, snap my fingers and go to the grocery store, Rachel, and your eggs are back down to $2 a dozen from $5 or $8, or in California, $12. But we are on it, and we're working night and day to solve it.
Well, I have chickens in my backyard. Sean started that. And yesterday I went out. They just started laying. And yesterday I got 5 eggs. I guess my question, if you could make it just really quick because I'm out of time, is part of the solution more small farms? Because when avian flu hits and you have these giant industrial farms and these chickens, which I don't think the eggs are as good anyway, is part of it just investing in smaller farms, encouraging that?
I think the silver lining in all of this is, how do we, in our backyards, we've got chickens too in our backyard, how do we solve for something like this? And people are sort of looking around thinking, wow, well, maybe I could get a chicken in my backyard. And it's awesome. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think everyone who isn't a farmer right now wants to be. So you're in the right department, Brooke.
I am. What a blessing. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you.
Take care.